Good day, everyone. Welcome to our Maverick Power Hour. We have a great, I would call it a co-partnering, power hour to share with you today. And it's all going to be about your 2022 marketing plan. So our guest today is Brooks Van Kirk of Van Kirk Creative. And so, what we are going to dive into today is everything that has to do with your marketing plan for 2022. She's going to cover a lot. So, make sure, just first, a couple things before I introduce her and get into all of this. Make sure you have the worksheet. If you registered, then you would have received the worksheet. So go look for that and make sure that you have the worksheet. If you happen to not have the worksheet and you're catching us live across platforms today, then go to this link, basically tiny.cc/Brooks worksheet, and you'll be able to go ahead and pull it down, print it, and have it at your disposal. Okay. But if not, at least have a journal and a pen with you so you can take notes, because we're going to cover a lot today in this discussion. She's going to discuss everything from big hopes and dreams that you might have in 2022, your customer value journey, mission, vision, and core values that are important to your plan, unique selling proposition, your sales number, and your data. Key points that we want to make sure are in that marketing plan. And then the takeaways she really wants you to walk away with is kind of reviewing 2021 and how did you do? What are you going to bring forward? What are you going to leave behind? What are you going to use to change and impact your 2022 plan? What is a SWOT analysis? All right, we're going to discuss that. She's going to discuss that, as along with SMART goals, obviously your marketing plan, and she's going to give you some individual tactics around some marketing strategies that will really amplify your marketing plan for 2022. Now, Brooks Van Kirk is a marketing strategist with Van Kirk Creative. She is an expert who really guides her clients through the confusion and uncertainty of nailing the marketing strategy that will get your business skyrocketing into the future. So during this 75-minute session, we're going to have heavy content. We're going to pretty much, we're going to put it up there right now. She's going to do such a great job with you. You're going to wonder how you could be working with her. So she'll share that with you. And then we're going to get into Q&A. So kind of compile your questions. You can even leave them in the chat. Keep in mind, we are streaming through StreamYard across the multiple platforms. So should you have a need to reach out to us, be sure you give StreamYard permission for us to see your name and your profile picture, so at least we can talk to you one-on-one. All right. But let me bring in Brooks. How are you, Brooks?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. I'm so excited that you're here, because this is a great topic for kicking off. We're about 4 weeks into 2022. And it's never too late to make sure someone has a marketing plan in place, right?
Right. Exactly. If you didn't take the time or weren't able to work on it at the end of last year, the beginning of this year, any time is the perfect time to get started.
Yeah. And since we're not even into the second month yet, this is great timing for this discussion. So I'm basically going to turn it over to Brooke, so she can walk you through what she wants to review with you today. And again, journal and pen, worksheet if you don't have the worksheet, and I'll put that right back up here for a little bit, tiny.cc/Brooks worksheet. You can pull it down there. But let me turn it over to Brooke so she can start kind of helping you to get your marketing plan in place. So it's all yours, Brooks.
Great. Now I see that you're seeing my slides here. Just verify that you're seeing my slides for me, will you?
Yes, we are.
Great. Well, thank you for having me, Bernadette. I'm going to talk today about strategies for creating a powerhouse marketing plan to rock 2022. Thank you for inviting me. Quick introductions, who I am. I live in Delaware, Ohio, have for the last 6.5 years. I'm married to my husband, Matt. We have 3 boys, Isaac, Liam, and Gabriel. My background, I am a 7-year corporate marketer turned 7-figure business owner. My husband and I own 2 businesses here locally in Delaware, Delaware Automotive Service, auto repair, where he is the principal. Van Kirk Creative is a marketing agency where I am the principal. If you can and you are on, take a moment to introduce yourself in the chat. We would love to chat with you throughout this. Bernadette, just to let you know, I'm having trouble seeing the comments. So if something does come in, if you would read that out to me.
I will absolutely
do
that. I will absolutely do that.
Awesome. So as you said, we are going to discuss big hopes and dreams, customer value journey, all the way through looking at your sales numbers and your data. At the end, we're going to go through what a SWOT analysis is and how you can put together one of those for your business and how it can be very helpful for you, SMART goals, and your marketing plan. So jumping right in, what are your big hopes and dreams for this year? What exactly is it that you want to achieve in your business? With planning, consistency, you can turn your dreams into reality. So what you would do here, and in this section on your workbook, it's actually in the bottom, the bonus section, what your big hopes and dreams are for your business and your personal life. It's really imperative that not only do you think through what you want to do for your business and how it's going to impact you and your sales goals, but also your personal life, because it is so many of us worry about having work-life balance and knowing what you want to do, where you want to go in both of these areas of your life just kind of allows you to keep that in the forefront and in the back of your mind so that you can just keep moving along. So these are pie in the sky, long-term goals. These can even be low-hanging fruit, things that if you knock them out quickly will help you skyrocket throughout the rest of the year. So pie in the sky goals, low-hanging fruit.
Now, Brooks, if someone, because some people have struggled with this, they struggle with really kind of owning and declaring what it is that they want to achieve in their life. Is this something that you will help coach them through and guide them through uncovering that for themselves?
It is, as, for example, if we would work together, we would go through questions. I would ask insight, kind of go in depth into what it is you're looking for, down to, how much money do you want to make? How many clients do you want to have? How many, if you're a restaurant, what day part is it that you want to increase? Is it lunch? Is it dinner? That type of thing. For your personal life, is it that you want to have financial freedom? Do you want to have time freedom? Do you want to get out of debt? Do you want to make a big purchase like Matt and I, my husband, we're working towards buying a motor coach so we can travel throughout the summer when we have our vacation and we can take our family with us and
awesome.
Stuff like that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's exciting. And so as you have these things that you're working towards, it's just all the more motivation to keep moving forward and overcome those obstacles as they come. Yes. So as you go through and think about those things, like I said, keep them in the back of your mind always. The next thing that I want to really think of is your customer value journey. And if you haven't heard of this before, it's like shown here, it's your path to purchase, where the customer starts to become aware of you and where they end up with a purchase, and then even becoming a brand advocate and promoting you to their friends, their family, their network, that type of thing. So it could look like they discover you on social media. They're scrolling through TikTok and they look at the link in your bio, they check out your website, they become a subscriber to your email, you nurture them, then they purchase, right? And so that just takes you down through that journey. If you're a brick and mortar, it could mean that they're driving by your location and they see your signage outside and they're like, hey, I need that. I need to stop at that garden center, but is that the best one in town? Well, let me check their reviews. If you have great reviews compared to other people, they're probably going to choose you. They'll give you a call, they'll make a purchase, they'll check out your website, that type of thing. Could be coming from a referral, someone that, your mom somebody has sent them over to you, like their mom or something like that. And they go through all those different areas. Were you saying something, Bernadette?
Nope.
It could be from your network and you have a connection call and then a purchase, right? And so along the side here, these are kind of the marketing terms for taking you through that path to purchase. They become aware of you, they engage with you, maybe click like or comment on your social media, they subscribe to what you have out there. Like we said, could be your email. And then you work on converting them over into a customer. They get excited. They ascend to the next portion of what you have to offer. They could have purchased at that point and you're trying to nurture them into the next type of purchase. They get excited about knowing who you are. They could become an advocate for you, a brand advocate, and promote you to other people. So this is really at the core of how you want to think about your taking them through this journey and how you want to guide your marketing plan as you go, right?
So each one of these, so should I be kind of coming up with a strategy or coming up with a plan as to how I'm going to get them to be aware of me, to be engaged with me, to subscribe with me, to convert with me? So that as I walk through the path to purchase, I need to really articulate, how each one of these stages is going to work out.
Right. So as you sit down and you think about what you want to do through the year, you think through each of these stages. How can they become aware of me? Do I have a website? Is the information updated? Do I have social media? Do I go out and do events and networking and things like that?
All right.
And at each individual area, think of it as little buckets, or, if you're just writing it down, little squares that you can write in each area of how you can convert them, excite them, ascend them to the next level, what offers that you have and things like that. Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
So then as we go through, this kind of starts the journey to getting your marketing plan in place. But as you think, many small business owners I have found, not so much in the corporate world, but many small business owners may not have necessarily started out figuring out what their mission statement is, their vision, and what their core values are. And people are excited about starting their business or growing their MLM if they did something like that. But it is really important to think through what your mission statement is. This is what your business does. It should be short and easy to memorize. And just as an aside, for these slides, I did go ahead and put a lot of words on here because I know I listen to a lot of these trainings as well. I know that a lot of people like to screenshot and come back and read the information. So I did put a lot of information on here, and I apologize if I read sometimes. I'll try to expand on it too, just so you know. Your mission statement should be specific enough that people understand what you do and how it may differ. You're different from your competitors, your purpose, your intention, what you want to happen in your business, right? So if there was a template, it would be something like, I help, and it would be who is your specific audience. So I help my audience get, and what is it they get? You solve their pain point. What outcome are they getting from working for you, with you? And then, so I help my audience get a solved pain point, through the services that I offer in order to, and it's so that they can meet their goal, right? So if I were to give you an example of mine is 𝐸 Creative helps busy entrepreneurs, small business owners, and nonprofits take control of their marketing through data, automation, and a solid marketing plan so that they can gain momentum and increase profit. So I say who my audience is: entrepreneurs, small business owners, nonprofits, and I say what they get or what their pain point is that I help them solve. I help provide data, analytics, automation, solid marketing plan, and then what is their goal? So I help them gain momentum and increase profit. Does that make sense? So
It does.
Great. So like Coca-Cola, I looked up, tried to see what some other, more known brands. Their mission statement is to refresh the world in mind, body, and spirit, to inspire moments of optimism and happiness through our brands and actions, and to create value and make a difference. So they're stating exactly what their business does, how they're different, and what their intention is for the world, really, because they're a world-known brand. Okay. So as we go through, the next thing is your vision statement. And this one's kind of fun to do because you go back to thinking, your big hopes and dreams. What do you aspire to do in your business? What are your goals? It helps drive your decision making. So for example, 𝐸 Creative aspires to be the go-to marketing experts in Delaware, Ohio, creating solid marketing plans and implementing strategic tactics for our clients so that we can make a difference in our community and help our customers reach their goals and scale their businesses year after year. LinkedIn, theirs is create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. So theirs is more short and sweet. And but it's what your business aspires to be. So creating that vision statement, if you memorize it, it's something that you can come back to. Say you're at a networking event or you're speaking in front of a group, and you're talking about community. Well, you can go back to your vision statement and put that in as part of what you're talking about, because it lets them know exactly what you're looking to do for your business.
Now I have a question. In your vision statement, you mentioned 𝐸 Creative and Ohio, but you work globally, correct?
I do. So I work locally, like in person, but with marketing, much of it is digital, right?
Right.
And
right.
much of it, like we're doing, we can be on Zoom, we can do trainings online and things like that. And
Right.
so a lot of what I do is online. Some of what I do is in person.
Sure.
But
Okay.
I'm here locally.
Okay. All right.
Yep. So core values. This one's also fun. So say you go on Google and you look up core values for businesses, 80 words can come up and, or more, right? So it really goes back to what you find valuable as a business, your business principles, beliefs, or a philosophy that you follow. But it's also, if you're a business owner or not, a lot of it, your personal value. And you can really about how that reflects who you are as a person and who you want your business to be as well. And these guide your decisions as you go throughout the year, and kind of solidifies for your employees what you find important as well. So for these, a lot of people would list these on their website, or they can become talking points or things like that. But as far as a template that you would have, you can just list them out in bullet points. You could make it in sentence form, single word, a string of words. I found that many people like to make theirs lighthearted because, talking about your values can be a serious thing. They can be serious too, but being lighthearted kind of puts that little touch on it as well. For example, our core values here at 𝐤𝐤𝐾 Creative, family first. Family is very important to us. And so, we're understanding with anyone that we work with, that type of thing. I have 6 total. So impact others by providing value, perseverance through obstacles. This one's my favorite because I'm kind of a data nerd. Data-driven decision-making. As you'll find as we go through, making decisions based on data should be one of the number one things that you make decisions based on. The next one's collaboration with clients and network, and forward and upward growth. So always moving forward, moving upward, just to keep moving, right? Let's see. I had an example from Amazon. I like Amazon's. Theirs is customer obsession rather than competitor focus, passion for invention, commitment to operational excellence, and long-term thinking. And this last part, Amazon strives to be Earth's most customer-centric company, Earth's best employer, and Earth's safest place to work. Again,
wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Right.
There's a commitment.
Yep. Right. But they have come up and taken the world by storm, right? Like you can get anything delivered to your door, and they can say that.
Right.
So I just thought that was interesting.
Right. Yep. Interesting.
Now, the next thing here is your brand. Talking about who you are, your story, your why, what you do, what's unique about your business, the problem you solve, and how you best solve your customer's pain point. So this is the value that you provide. This is not just how you look, but if you are a single solopreneur, like you are your brand. So it needs to be how you portray yourself, what you talk about. It's all encompassing, right? Now, if you have multiple employees, it encompasses everybody, but it is also what many people think about when they talk about a brand, and that's your logo and your colors and your fonts. And those things are extremely important too. You want to have that consistent across all areas. If you're a brick and mortar, you need to look like you are in person, how you are online. All of that needs to be consistent. It's how you want your audience to think about you. It's how you want your audience to feel about you. Some people take it even further, and say, what kind of taste would it be? What do you want them to hear when they think of your brand? And that type of thing. And so that kind of leads into the next part. What are your brand attributes? So if you think about things that are opposite or seemingly opposite, where would your brand fall along a continuum, right? Masculine or feminine, simple, extravagant, professional, casual, extreme, or safe. So as you're thinking about your business, these descriptive terms allow you to kind of put a visual together of who you are, right? Excuse me, thinking more about some other questions that would come up when you're thinking about your brand. What words describe your brand's image? How would you describe your brand to a friend or its emotions? What other brands would be your friend? It's kind of like personification, turning your brand into a person. And what does that mean to you? That's where your values come into play, and why that's so important to build, because as you're putting yourself out there, you want to make sure that they're consistent and they coincide.
Yeah. Like, it was interesting because when I was working through my branding like 12 years ago. Perfect example of like what is not congruent with who you are. I started off with the Boas group, very formal, very corporate, very polished. And it was a couple of years later, and I was like, God, it's nothing felt right about it. I didn't even like to tell people what my company name was because it just didn't sit with me. And so a marketing specialist like yourself was just like, well, keep asking yourself these type of questions. So I love this. And the next thing you know, someone introduces me at an event, at a speaking event, and it's like, I'm not using her formal bio. Just know she's a ball of fire.
All of
Well,
fire.
yeah, well, every hair on my body stood up, and I was like, that's it. So, you may not feel comfortable right now with, whether or not you're dead on what your brand should be, but I love these questions. I mean, I'd be cutting and pasting this page right here if I was anybody out there, because those are fantastic questions to be asking. So you can kind of get down to what your brand would look like. Awesome. Love it.
Yeah, it just allows you to dig in deep to what you're trying to portray out into the world about who your business is. Yep. Okay, so your unique business. The next thing is what marketers call your unique selling proposition. And it's the problem that you solve for your clients, how you're different from your competitors. How are you able to get your client the results that they need and they want so that they can reach their goals? Your unique selling proposition. So, for example, Robinhood, which is the app where you can go on and do investing, they say their unique selling proposition is investing for everyone. Canva, where many people in the design world design their creative pieces and put on social media. It says that they're empowering the world to design. HelloFresh is America's most popular meal kit, right? So it's what they're able to solve for their client and what they provide, and they're better at than their competitors.
And my sister's family can agree with that because they have like their binder of this many receipts and meals that they've had from HelloFresh. So they're standing up to their promise, their unique selling proposition. That's awesome.
Yes. America's most popular meal kit. And I've tried them too, and their food is delicious. So they reeled me in. So, okay. So after you have your unique selling proposition, what makes you different from your competitors? You want to really dig into what your audience is, who your audience is. My husband, not the marketer, he works on cars, does auto repair, works with his customers very well. But he likes to say that his audience is anyone who drives a car. Well, that's true in a way, right? But you have to like niche down. So someone's not going to drive from another state to come to our shop, right? So it has to do with location. It has to do like the geographic aspects, right? So it depends on your business whether that is pertinent or not. But talking about and figuring out who your audience is really, really key. Do you work in specific industries? Do you focus on, like I said before, just the restaurant industry or just personal care products, things like that? If you are able to, you could even segment your customer data. So if you already have existing clients or existing customers, you can go in and segment things based on like their demographics, gender, age, income level, marital status, education, or things like their geographic segments, what neighborhood they're in, postal or zip code, city, state, region, county, that type thing. Or psychographics, because purchasing choices can represent socioeconomic class, lifestyle preferences, things like that, social status, like your occupation, whether you're upper class, management, administrative, professional, or all the other classes that exist, right? And so if you think through all of those things, knowing your audience becomes all the more important, because the more you think about it, the more you understand that different audiences make different buying decisions, and so we in auto repair are not going to put an advertisement out there to everyone who has a car. Not only would that be financially irresponsible, because you can't blanket the same message out to everyone, but it goes back to that message. If you're talking to women who are moms who drive their family to and from soccer practice in the evening, you could have your message being that we're open later so that you can drop your car off in between practice, or anything like that. The more information that you know about your audience, the more niched message you can have to better focus and bring someone and nurture them back into a purchase.
So Brooks, I have a question, because a good amount of the people in our community across platforms, they're entrepreneurs. They are, a lot of them are coaches, consultants, service providers, that type of thing, versus a brick and mortar.
Mm-hmm.
And I love what you said about you can't be everything to everybody. You can't like sell everybody. Your customer's not everybody, even though you think anybody living and breathing can use your services, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's also most important because your type of product or service, and even the price point of it, isn't going to be for everyone. So, someone who's a high ticket type of service or product, they're not they'd be wasting time and money pursuing people that, don't have the level of income. So going back to your demographics, psychographics, geographics, they don't have the level of income to be able to purchase and buy from you and be a customer of yours. So that's what this is helping with, right? Is just nailing down. And where are they? Some are, if they're not all going to be on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok,
Right.
Some of them are going to be in some. So that's the importance of audience, correct?
Exactly. Because whenever you put together a marketing message, the whole point is knowing who you're talking to, because it needs to resonate with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, Google does things the way that they do. It's, they know the way that people search. They know what people are looking for by the words that they put out there, and they're able to figure out the exact right message at the exact right time to that person that they're looking for, and it's all because they know their audience. And leading into the next thing, like figuring out what a buyer persona or a targeted persona is, that's like actually putting a name down on a specific segment of the customer population that you have. So if you're a skincare company and you say you sell products that do facials, you could say a person is their characteristics are like, they may have, they may be a professional. They wear makeup every day. The products that they're interested in are, cleansing wipes and lotions and specific cover-ups, because they may have rosacea and they need to cover up the red on their cheeks, and they need to show up well on Zoom because they're professional, but they work from home. And so it's really digging in deep to who exactly it is that they're marketing to, because they have those specific products. So, for example, some questions to consider if you're trying to figure out different buyer personas for your customers. Who is your ideal customer? What are their characteristics? What do they look like? How do they feel? So facial Fanny could be a little uncomfortable being in front of people because she has red cheeks and rosacea, but she feels more comfortable and beautiful by wearing the foundation that you give them, that you provide as a product, because not only is it 100% toxin free, it also provides the very correct color that she needs to look beautiful, right? What are they thinking? Where do they live? What do they value as important? What are they worried about? What do they need right now? So all of these questions are something that you can dig in deep into that specific person. And, you know, skincare companies may only do skincare, but they could also do hair care. And so another buyer persona could be someone who gets their hair colored and they have to have a specific type of product, and it has to reduce the bronze look or the shine, or anything like that. And so it is helpful to have buyer personas for multiple segments of your customers if that's what you have. Skincare, hair care. I was just working with a client this morning, and they also provide cleaning products. And so you could have another buyer persona for someone who is a cleaner. And it could even be, historically, there are women who are at home and choosing the cleaning products. But what if you want to change it up a little bit for your business, and it's a male who is a single person and they work out a lot, and they're maybe a wrestler, and they need to make sure that everything is clean, and they need to have these products in their home that get things very clean, but they also want it to be 100% toxin free. And so they get the specific laundry detergent, and they get the specific dish soap and things like that. You get what I'm saying? So it's
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's in some ways it's difficult to think that way, but once you start going down that road, it really helps you figure out later how to tailor your message to the right person.
Wouldn't it be good to kind of like have someone think about a day in the life of that perfect person, like literally visually see them get up in the morning, kind of bring in all your senses and walk through a day in their life and just pull out all of those characteristics you're talking about?
Yeah, that's absolutely a great way to do it. What products do they use in the morning? What do they use at lunchtime? Depending on what you offer as a business. But yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay.
Yep. So that's why thinking about your audience is so important. And even it could allow you to break into new segments, to new markets. If you have a new product coming out, an exercise like this will, like I said, help you tailor your message down the road. So the next thing to think about is your competitors. A lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs, it makes them uncomfortable. And I've talked to many people, and they're like, well, I don't even pay attention to who my competitors are. Like, I just want to focus on me and what I'm doing and moving myself forward. I don't need to compare and things like that. And there's a lot to be said for that, right? Because you want to stay focused. You want to work on your goals. However, it is really important to know who your competitors are and what they're doing out in the world, and really what you do better than them and what they do better than you, because you could learn something from them. You could maybe even partner with them. You know, if you offer something that they don't, and even if you're in the same industry, you could end up passing referrals back and forth because you offer video editing and they offer graphic design, you know? And so if you don't do the other thing, you could really even help each other, but you're in the same industry, you know? So what do they offer that is the same as you? What's different? What is their pricing structure like? And again, a lot of times talking about money makes people uncomfortable. But if you as a business are not charging enough and the industry is calling for you to charge more, then it's time to raise your prices. But if you're on the opposite side and you're the highest price in town and you're finding that your sales are in a slump, well, maybe it's because you've priced yourself out, you know? And so it's really important to kind of gauge where you are in comparison to the other competitors that you have going that are around. You know, you can take a look at their social media platforms, the advertising that they're doing, even down to, you know, if you're paying enough attention and it's Q1, the first of the year and last year, and you know that they did this certain advertisement in this certain magazine, for example, and they're still running an advertisement in that same magazine in Q4, well, they're obviously getting something out of it to pay the money each month to advertise in that magazine. So maybe you should look into that, you know? And what are their reviews? Are they doing well in this area? Or are they not doing well in this particular area? Maybe the area that they're not doing well in is something that you want to tailor your message to because you do well in that area, you know? So, and another thing that is really important, and especially if you're a brick and mortar, is if you're involved in the community locally. We have a plumbing business here locally that is so involved, and their business is booming. And I think it has a lot to do, you know, every parade that's in town, they're there, you know, on their trucks driving around. They have, like, you know, the emoji for poop that's on their trucks. And I mean, they're a plumbing company, so they do septics, they do sump, they do all this stuff. Well, it's people don't like talking about it, but they put it right out there and people know to call them, you know? And so if you're a competitor.
That's brilliant, by the way. That's brilliant.
It is. And they put a lot of stuff on their social media that's funny. That's really funny. It gets engagement. And so people like that. They're involved in the community. And when they have a problem, that's who they think of, you know? So it all goes back to their messaging. And the competitors in town, nobody can touch them, you know? And because of that, they can charge a premium. They charge more because I'm friends with the owners. They charge more than others on some things. Now, they're still competitive, but you know, having that know, like, and trust allows them to charge enough that is needed.
Well, they're competitive because what you say, there's people that won't need them, but when they have you know, and don't want to pay their pricing, probably until they have an emergency, and then they're willing to pay anything to get the support. So, you know, they're always going to be competitive. And then wouldn't you agree that, like what you're saying about their social media and the marketing and the poop on the side of the emoji, also ties back to their mission, their vision, their core values. Like, it all aligns as to what it is that they are looking to be portrayed as and perceived as in the marketplace. And that's why all these elements that you're talking about are so important.
Yeah. And their core values are humorous too. They're a family-owned company. And so you know, even if I wasn't friends of theirs, I would know all of this about them by the marketing that they're putting out there, by the social media that they're doing, by the people that they're talking to. Like they do it really well. And so this is where if you're a competitor, you should look at them and be like, okay, what are they doing well? Well, what are they not doing well? And can I do that better? Can I focus my marketing on that so that I can bring my sales up by focusing on what I do well, you know? So.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. This part here, marketing audit, your business marketing audit. This is always interesting when I take clients through this. The number of small businesses who have never done this before, or it's just something that they haven't thought of, right? So this first area, market area review, this is the radius around your business where your customers travel to get to your location. This is kind of more if you're a brick and mortar. This is taking a look at the businesses that are around you, and if you are a B2B or B2C, business to business, business to consumer, part of these are more relevant than others. But you know what retail areas are around, hotels, theaters, schools, apartments, community centers, sports complexes, things like that. And really gauging what is around you, how you can be involved in the community, how you can market to those individuals if that's your niche, you know. So that's a market area review, or some people call it a trade area survey. What also is important with this allows you to put together a list of businesses that if you're B2B, you can go and do business visits. You can physically go there, stop in, introduce yourself, say hi, and put yourself out there. You know, it is important in the first couple of times that you do that to really come in providing value, wanting to get to know them, not necessarily trying to push for a sale. But that goes back to kind of the networking thing. But it is important to know what is in your market area. Now, internally, the next part is what I call a four walls review. This is the physical appearance of your business, the attitude and appearance of your employees, and the experience or the ambiance or the atmosphere that you have inside your four walls. And not only knowing this, but continually trying to improve upon it creates long-term customer loyalty, assists in building customer frequency, so they'll come back more and more often. And it helps build your reputation. So think of it, if you have a business and the outside looks run down, you know, are people likely to stop there versus a competitor?
Yep.
Maybe not. If the inside, go ahead.
Couldn't you also relate this, even though it's not brick and mortar? But I know, for instance, I have some 1099s contractors, and I make sure that they understand my brand, my core values, to where when they're presenting themselves, whether that's, you know, online or on a phone call or in an email, that, you know, it all represents what it is that I'm looking to project and have them perceive, even though they're not coming into my store, but they're coming into my universe, so to speak.
Yeah, it all comes back to you and your brand and what you want to put out there.
Right.
You know, it's all about how you're perceived by your clients or your potential clients. And that's also why reviews are so important. You know, as we go into the digital marketing portion, you know, referrals, there's important. Number one people do after they learn about you is they look you up, you know. And if your employees are not representing you well, it's going to show in your reviews. If you don't have all the data correct on your website, or on your Google business page or your social media, and it's not consistent, what are people going to think about the products that you provide or the services that you provide? That's why getting out there, not only having control of those things, because your information may be listed places that you don't own, but you still need to be able to make sure that it's correct. So it is important to do a digital marketing review so that you're in control of how your brand is portrayed.
I want to give an example of this is real quick, because it just happened to me. So I have a number of events out there on Meetup, and I never knew someone could do this before, but recently I've had some spammers come in and join the group, acting as if they're legit. And then just in the last 2 days, they've posted images to my page about CBD and about other drug type of posts with images. And I was just like, what in the world? And fortunately, they'll Meetup sends you notifications. And I was able to catch it in a very short period of time and pull it down.
Yeah.
But that's certainly not something that I would want anyone within my universe to think that I was supporting or presenting, and this isn't my personal views. This is from a business perspective, my brand from a business perspective. So yeah, it's very important to do those assessments and those audits. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why it's important too to scroll through your social media feed, because you can be tagged on something that you don't necessarily agree with. And so it is important to regularly go through and look and make sure that only stuff that supports your brand is on there. If I network a lot through social media, and sometimes someone will tag me in something that they're offering. And luckily it shows up as a notification that I've been tagged, because then I can go in and remove myself from the tag, and if you go and you scroll down and you see that something on there, like you said, does not fall in your brand, you have the insight to go in and be able to do that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Yeah. All very important. So moving on to sales. And I chuckle because, again, when I talk with some small business owners, many people are really great about looking at their numbers, or at least having an accountant or a CPA that they meet with regularly to go through their numbers. But some people don't have a clue. And some people have only look at it at tax time, or right before they're going to make a big purchase or something like that. And I did, sales, I think sales and marketing go hand in hand. And in my past working life in the corporate world where I worked, every morning I'm in looking at sales from the different restaurants and the franchisees, and whether we're up or we're down. And so it is extremely important to know. So I threw some sales questions on here. This is not a full list of all the numbers that people should be paying attention to in their business, but profit and loss statement, definitely up there on what you should be paying attention to weekly, at least monthly, knowing your sales, the different avenues that you have money coming in, and all of your expenses. You should know exactly what you're spending money on every month, and comparing those sales to last year or the year before, knowing whether you're up or down or where you're trending. What's your best month usually? What's your hardest month? A lot of times after the holidays, when those credit card statements start coming in, people kind of fall off of spending in February, and so sometimes in some industries, February can be a hard month, and it just depends on the industry that you're in. And if you can go back and track that, you can expect it and you can know, okay, well, I'm going to have to amp up my marketing in February and promote X, Y, and Z because I really would like to beat last year's sales and they were down from the year before. So, it really helps make those decisions and figure out what type of marketing that you want to do. Do you have and follow a current budget? If you know what your expenses are and your income streams, especially like if you're trying to set your budget for last year, right? And you have your total numbers, you can set a budget based on last year's numbers alone. You can go back and think about, okay, I'm going to stop this type of expense, but this other expense, they let me know that prices are going up 10%. So I need to account for that. And it just allows you to know how much you have to spend. If you want to increase your marketing budget because you have a new product coming out, well, where's that money going to come from? Right? Are you going to take it from something else? Are you going to stop a program or a service that you're purchasing already so that you can account for that additional cost? Or, you know what I mean? So, another one, your average cost per customer. Do you purchase advertising? Do you pay for leads or something like that? Like how much does it cost you to get a new customer in the door? What is your average invoice or your average ticket price? Depending on your niche or the service, your restaurant average for a lunch day part could be $13.11 or something like that. Or in the dinner time, if you're a high-end restaurant, your average could be $75, $80. So knowing that number allows you to kind of plan and budget for what you have coming up. This next one is what I talk about a lot. What is your most profitable service or product? What is it that you can promote that'll bring in the most profit? For example, in our auto repair business, brake jobs are really profitable, not only because the cost of brakes versus the cost of the job. Now, granted, there's labor that go into that, but also providing that service, you can do multiple brake jobs per day, and so if you're in the online space, are you providing one-on-one service? Are you providing group programs? Are you doing selling a program that's evergreen? So when you think about those types of things, that allows you to decide, okay, so what is it that I want to promote this coming month? What is my most profitable thing that I can promote that will allow me to achieve this X goal? So that's why it comes back to that sales and knowing what your numbers are so important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But let me ask you beyond this detail of the marketing expenses. You can move forward, but if somebody doesn't have some of these things in place, if they don't have a marketing plan in place, what have you found to be the biggest impacts to people, whether or not they've reviewed their 2021 but didn't really put a plan together for 2022, other than maybe like their kind of big hopes and dreams and their wishes, but nothing really concrete? What has the impact be to that type of entrepreneur and their business?
So, really knowing that information allows you to plan forward, right? So knowing your sales, knowing like your data right here allows you to plan for what you have to come. But for example, if you're working with someone who knows and understands your niche market, it may be easier for you to put together a marketing plan, because then you can gain insights from their experience. Is that what you mean?
Well, I guess more importantly, as you know, as we kind of look to really kind of summarize on that first section of, without them having a marketing plan, they're kind of wishful thinking. They're kind of like, you know, they're not even navigating themselves. They're just kind of reacting every day to the fact that, yes, I have a business. Yes, I'm supposed to be doing something each and every day, but I don't really know what that is and why it is that I'm doing it and what the, you know, the outcome is that I'm striving for, because they haven't articulated it into any kind of plan. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you got to know where you've been to know where you're going. That's kind of how I think of it. It like this SWOT analysis, this next thing, and I know we're coming up on time here, but if you think about your business and you know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, it allows you to then create the opportunities and create those plans that will allow you to move forward, right?
Absolutely.
You build upon your strengths.
Absolutely.
You take those weaknesses and turn them into an opportunity, and then you really control for what those threats are, you know, and it allows you to create those SMART goals, going through and getting into what your plan is. You can take your big hopes and dreams, and now you know all of this information that from the back end that has happened in the past, or all the data that has come together that you've been able to collate, you know, and you can create those goals that are SMART and measurable and attainable and realistic and timed. And then from there, you can go through and, okay, here's this objective for how I want to achieve the goal. You know, I want to reach $1 million in gross sales. Well, what does that mean? That's $84,000 a month. That's increasing my sales by 12%. That's, well, how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to hire 3 new employees. I'm going to take a monthly measurement of where we are each month and how we're reaching those goals, you know. And that allows you to create that marketing plan and the marketing strategy so that you can achieve those goals in the end, you know.
Right. Yeah.
It gives you a clear idea of what you want to accomplish, and it directly relates to those big hopes and dreams or those business goals and objectives that you have already outlined.
Yeah. Well, what it looks like too is the fact that you have your goals, and then you have this marketing plan as well. And now not only is the goals a roadmap, but this marketing plan is your clear roadmap to keep you confident and on task and moving forward. And not to say you won't get stuck or overwhelmed on certain days, but you can always come back to your marketing plan and know exactly what it is that you are working toward, right?
Yeah, you always have something to refer to. You always know that next step of what you should be doing because you have taken the time to put this together.
Yeah. Well, I have some questions that people want to know about. But in the meantime, what I also wanted to make sure that we discuss is obviously there are a lot of people that are working toward this right now. They're working on trying to figure out their marketing plan, but you know, just like anything else, kind of sitting in their office staring at you know, at their journal or at a computer is often very kind of overwhelming or anxious or stressful. And yet having someone like you in their corner to really work through this, it just saves like so much anxiety and so much struggle and so much challenge. So I know you have a awesome opportunity for individuals to work with you. So I want to make sure that we get to that and cover that. And then we're going to definitely talk the questions that I have in front of me. So what is it and how is it that people can work with you?
Well, I've put together an offer that allows us to break this information into 4 sections. And so what we would do is we would meet weekly for 4 weeks to go over what we've just talked about, and even more in depth. You know, we go and we talk about your data, the numbers behind what you already have going on, and putting together those goals and those objectives, and how exactly that's going to work and for your business. And so we would do 4 weekly one-on-one marketing planning sessions. So 1 a week for 4 weeks, we would meet via Zoom and we would discuss that. I would send you my guide to strategic marketing for busy entrepreneurs, which is a 54-page guide that takes you through each of these steps.
That's awesome. That's all. Talk about stress-free, people. Stress-free. Yes. And then you have a guide like her, an expert like her, to walk you through that. Is awesome.
Yeah. And then I have slides that I've put together. I call them my goal diggers planning slides. So it allows you to put together in kind of a calendar format, similar to this next thing that I'm offering, the strategic marketing planning calendar templates. These templates are like a literal calendar where you can go in and put your promotions and your campaigns and the content that you want to do. These goal digger planning slides allow you to dig deeper and say exactly what it is you want to do in each of these campaigns. And so the outcome from these 4 weekly sessions is you get a marketing plan for 2022. We work together to come up with specific marketing strategies and tactics to implement in your business throughout this year. We have these goals spelled out that you will be able to achieve. And we have a calendar put together that has your campaigns and your promotional content that you want to do, and some content ideas as well. And the total value of what you're getting is $1,988. But
priceless. It's priceless.
Right. And that's not what you'll have to pay though. Right today through the end of the month, I'm offering it for $397. And you get those 4 weeks, you get these free guides, and we'll work through them all together.
Right. Yeah. And I need to emphasize a few things here, everybody. Whether you're brick and mortar, because she had mentioned that, if you can go to the previous slide.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. Whether or not you're brick and mortar, which, she talked about that, as well as whether or not you're a digital, you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're a service provider. Marketing is marketing. Marketing strategies, marketing tactics, your marketing plan. She can help you regardless of the type of business that you have. And therefore, I need you to really look at this. If you are sitting there and you're struggling, trying to figure out what it is that I'm supposed to be doing, especially when it comes to marketing your business, it is even one thing. And all of you know how huge I am on goal setting, and having your action plan. And she actually has a component of that within the overall marketing. But, your goals is one thing. The marketing of how are you going to reach out? And she had that one slide and that one discussion around all the different ways that you need to send it's the customer journey. You need to send your customer through these phases, through these stages of interacting with you. To really nail down that in itself is a huge opportunity to really get clarity and focus and confidence and attention into your business. And that's just one part of what it is that she's offering. And let me just also emphasize too here is that 4 weekly one-on-one marketing sessions with her. So 4 coaching sessions, basically, planning sessions, getting work done. That in itself is worth the $1,988, let alone the $397. So if you don't have a plan right now, and you are kind of flailing, and we're about to go into another new month, And you want to be sure that you're doing the right things and spending your time on the right things at the right time and to the right audience. And with the right marketing campaigns and marketing messages and everything, then definitely take an opportunity to engage Brooks to support you. She won't let you down. And at the same time, look at all the great resourcing that she's providing you throughout that period. Why struggle? Why be insecure? Why be out of focus? So I have the link to how you can get engaged with Brooks right now. tiny.cc/work with Brooks. It will take you to her both her sales page, but more so her calendar, because I would expect that she is going to get booked up. So you're definitely going to want to make sure you get on her calendar and plot out those 4 weekly one-on-one sessions with her and get moving. Because just think about it. Even in less than 30 days, you're going to have what you need to know that you're working on the right things moving forward. That's awesome. Excuse me. Okay. So I do have a couple questions that I want to make sure that we can touch on in the last 4 minutes that we have together. And I'm going to leave this slide up so you don't have to worry about moving it forward. But no, you could leave it up. You could leave that up. Or not. But when it comes to sales numbers, for instance, what is it that people struggle with when it comes to their sales numbers? Because I have someone that is struggling to really articulate what their sales should be. And they've been in business for about 18 months, 20 months. So they have history. So what is it that you would help them with to really kind of nail that down?
Well, we would, a lot of business owners use something like QuickBooks, and their bank account automatically goes into QuickBooks, and they're able to parcel out, their expenses and which categories they go to. So even taking into account that they may or may not have a CPA, just going through and figuring out what those expenses are. And first of all, whether it's something that is an ongoing expense that needs to stay an ongoing expense, and making sure that they're spending their marketing dollars specifically on the right things. Is there automation that could happen? Are there programs out there that can handle 2, 3, 4 of the things that you're paying separately for? A lot of things like that.
You mean tasks?
Yeah.
So to be looking at making sure that if there's things you could delegate or things that you can automate or things that you can streamline, then you should be looking for those resources. Is that what?
Yeah, like
Okay.
that, or even if you're at, if you have a back office system, and you are a brick and mortar, and you have, like at the end of the night, sometimes depending on your niche, your slip prints up at the end of the night that shows what your sales were for that day, and that can automatically be put into your system. And so there's a lot of things that can be done that way, but also looking at your sales historically, comparing them last year or last month, or am I doing better in this area than I am in this area? And if not, what marketing can I do to improve that area?
And so if I have my history of where I was sales on a monthly basis, then what do I do? What do you help individuals to do to then say, okay, you did X, you did 100,000 last year, and based on certain things that are coming out of the marketing plan, I'm assuming, then, you can be targeting this number. Is that something, this year you can, kind of increase your plan that you have from last year to 20% this year because of X, Y, and Z. Is that what the marketing plan will also help them understand?
Yeah. It allows you to take those numbers and figure out how you can increase them in some way based on what marketing that you want to do. Are you going to run Facebook ads, or your cost per lead, is that going to go up? But you can project that you're going to sell X number of products more because of that. And so your sales have gone up too. So in the end, your profit margin is that much more. So it's, like they say, it's all a numbers game. And so it's trying to figure out what works for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to save, because I noticed the time. Because the other one you already somewhat answered, or not somewhat, you answered the part of the question that they had in regards to the SWOT analysis. And I loved how you brought it up. You can look at your strengths and weaknesses. So SWOT is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you look at your strengths and weaknesses, and you kind of consider what opportunities you have, even for your weaknesses. And so her question was about threats. So why don't you answer that now, just so we can get her that answer. But when it comes to threats, what does that mean?
Well, one example that pops to mind are reviews, right? So I had said that one of the things that everyone looks for when they hear about a new business is the reviews. Are they good? Are they bad? What are ways that you can mitigate bad reviews? Do you go out and you ask all of your current customers to give you a review so that way you can bury a bad one? Or do you hire a third party that can focus on getting you reviews and calling your clients and getting quotes for them? There's many companies out there that offer that. And so if the threat is against your brand, that's something that you can do to mitigate.
And that's why you also want to do competitive analysis.
Yep.
Is to understand those threats to what your business could be. And the threats could also be economical. They could be a number of things, right? I mean, no one expected the pandemic to kind of close businesses down. And you can't anticipate that, but that's why you also need to stay on touch with kind of what's going on around you. So then you can kind of anticipate that there might be something coming down the road.
Yeah. Like if you have bad press coming, or if you had to close a location or something, just things that could be coming down the line that you have to think about and get ahead of.
Right. Yeah. Right. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. This has been awesome, Brooks.
Well, thank you so much.
And what a perfect time for it. I mean, we're going into a second month and a new month, and therefore, don't beat yourself up that you don't have a marketing plan or a marketing strategy. There's somebody here that can help you. And within, our Powerhouse Mavericks community, as well as Ball of Fire coaching community, we love partnering with experts such as Brooks and Van Kirk Creative to provide you that type of expertise and that support that you need if you don't have it. So you're not left alone, people. Brooks is here to help you, and her four package coaching program around getting your marketing plan put in place. You can learn all the details at tiny.cc/work with Brooks. And yet at the same time, I also want you to be sure to reach out to her should you need to. She has a link tree where all of her information is provided, as well as you can kind of see some other ways to reach out and connect with her. So you can go to linktr.ee/Van Kirk Creative and learn more about her there as well. But this has been fabulous. Thank you so much, Brooks, for participating. It's been great. And I'll look forward to seeing you soon and having everyone else join us. If you're not part of Powerhouse Mavericks out on our Facebook page, our Facebook group, then please do so, because we provide these type of expert sessions, these power hours, once a month. It's new for 2022. We had several in 2021 and you raved about them. So we'll be having more of these, and we have all these opportunities for you to engage with individuals like Brooks within the group, as well as have opportunities to promote your business and really kind of collaborate, engage, and share with other people within the group. So we welcome you to join us over in Powerhouse Mavericks over on Facebook. And so for everybody here within the Ball of Fire Coaching, thank you so much for participating. And I'll look forward to seeing you out there online along with Brooks. Talk to you soon, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.